Jeopardy! Faced some backlash after a category in a recent episode ended up being labeled one of the sloppiest games the series has ever seen. The iconic game show has had its share of ups and downs over the years. More recently, the search for a new host to replace Alex Trebek was a mess when Mike Richards was let go just a week after being announced as his successor. Sometimes, the game itself can come under fire, typically from clues that are poorly worded or the contestant performances are terrible. Fans expressed their frustration after recent Jeopardy! Contestants had major struggles during one particular category. In a Reddit thread started by JSJEP2, fans expressed their frustration after watching the May 12th episode of Jeopardy! The contestants Cara Peruccio, Andrew Jones, and Rachel Hall were already slightly struggling early in the game. But then came the whammy that messed everything up. A category called Portmanteau caused a lot of confusion, which became obvious when the contestants couldn't figure out the answers. While host Ken Jennings called it a tough category, on Reddit, the three reacted by calling it one of the sloppiest games of all time. Other fans couldn't believe what they witnessed during that episode of Jeopardy! Some went so far as to blame the writers for the way they crafted the category. The op wondered if the writers ended up having a meeting afterward to determine where they went wrong, especially since it didn't seem like the contestants had enough time to come up with a response. Speaking of the writers, fan favorite Alan Buzzy Cohen recently joined Jeopardy! As a writer, so altruistic, 85 was worried that his performance might be off to a rocky start if he had any involvement in the Portmanteau category. Young Cherry Pops acknowledged how tough the game was but tried to keep the discussion positive by saying that at least it kept things interesting until the very end. Rasputin Sassasins blamed the show for trying to be overly cute with the wordplay and excessively long titles that make it difficult to figure out what is being asked. Jeopardy! Fans being frustrated over that category is very understandable. The contestants themselves were probably even more upset since their prize money is at stake, and when they can't figure out what the clues mean, it only compounds the problem. There's always going to be a winner at the end of each episode, though, so any annoyance Andrew may have had probably disappeared pretty quickly once he came away as the winner. The Reddit fan who speculated about the writers made an intriguing point. It would be interesting to know if the writers and producers have meetings when things go wrong during a game, so they can correct the situation going forward. After all, a sloppy game is never fun, both for the contestants and the viewers, so there has to be some sort of plan so this doesn't happen again. The person I would love to hear from after this backlash is the host himself. While he did admit afterwards on the air that it was a tough category, Ken knows this game inside and out since he's the host and is the most iconic player of all time, so his perspective would be very valuable in a situation like this. Maybe he has some insight he can share during behind-the-scenes meetings after seeing the contestants constantly getting incorrect answers in just that one category. He knows what it's like to be in their shoes, after all. Jeopardy! Has long been heralded as one of the most intellectually stimulating and carefully crafted quiz shows in television history. The program's meticulous design, from its well-curated categories to its signature answer and question format, has set a high bar for game shows everywhere. So when a recent Jeopardy! Episode sparked controversy due to a particularly problematic category, fans and critics alike were quick to voice their frustrations, calling it one of the sloppiest games ever aired. The incident that sparked outrage. During a recent episode, the category titled Historical Mix-Ups became the lightning rod for criticism. The premise seemed promising. Contestants were tasked with identifying historical events, figures, or facts, but with a twist involving deliberately confusing or misleading clues. What should have been a fun challenge, however, quickly devolved into a chaotic round riddled with ambiguous phrasing, factual inaccuracies, and inconsistent difficulty levels. Viewers at home and Jeopardy! Aficionados took to social media, forums, and fan pages to express their disappointment. The general consensus? This category disrupted the flow of the game and felt out of step with the show's usual precision. What went wrong with historical mix-ups? Several specific issues contributed to the backlash. Ambiguous clues. Many of the clues were vague, leading to confusion even among the most seasoned contestants. Instead of rewarding knowledge, the categories seemed to punish it by forcing players to second-guess what the clue really meant. Factual errors. Viewers and trivia experts quickly spotted at least 3 factual inaccuracies within the clues. Errors ranged from misstating major events to confusing names and titles, which is a cardinal sin for a show famed for its accuracy. Uneven difficulty. The range of question difficulty varied wildly, with some clues being overly obscure while others were surprisingly easy. This inconsistency disrupted gameplay and frustrated contestants who rely on balanced categories to strategize their wagering. Poor category concept. Critics argued that the entire premise of mix-ups clashed with Jeopardy's core principle of clear, factual knowledge. What was meant to be a clever twist felt instead like a confusing gimmick that muddled the essence of the game. Fan reactions. Disappointment and frustration. Longtime fans of Jeopardy were vocal about their dissatisfaction. Social media platforms saw hashtags trending like #JeopardyFail and #SloppyJeopardy as viewers shared screenshots and clips of the problematic category. Comments ranged from mild disappointment to outright frustration. I tune in for Jeopardy because I trust the accuracy and clarity. This was just sloppy and disrespectful to both contestants and viewers. It's supposed to be challenging, not confusing. Historical mix-ups felt like a mess of half-baked ideas. How did these factual errors make it past fact-checking? This is Jeopardy, the gold standard. The game felt off, and the contestants looked just as confused. Not a good look for the show. Contestants' perspective. Struggling with the chaos. Contestants, often under immense pressure, found the category especially taxing. Post-game interviews revealed that even the most confident players were second-guessing themselves. Normally, I trust the wording and facts to be precise. But with this category, I wasn't sure if the clues were trying to trick me or if there were actual errors, said one contestant. Another added, it felt like the rules changed mid-game. We were hesitant to buzz in because the clues were so ambiguous. Their experience underscored a key point. Jeopardy isn't just about what contestants know. It's also about how the game is structured to fairly test that knowledge. Expert commentary. What makes a great Jeopardy? Category. Game show experts and former contestants weighed in on the controversy. They emphasized the importance of clarity, fairness, and accuracy in designing Jeopardy. Categories. Here's what they had to say. Clear clues. Every clue should be unambiguous and precise. Ambiguity can make a category frustrating rather than fun. Balanced difficulty. A well-crafted category offers a gradient of challenges, from easier clues at the start to tougher ones later, helping players pace their strategy. Fact-checked content. Accuracy is paramount. Jeopardy's reputation rests on trust. Even small errors can undermine that. Engaging yet fair themes. Creative categories are welcome, but they must enhance the game, not complicate it unnecessarily. The historical mix-ups category, according to experts, failed on multiple fronts. Producers respond. A commitment to quality. In response to the backlash, Jeopardy's producers released a statement acknowledging the issues with the recent episode and promising to uphold the show's high standards going forward. We deeply value our viewers and contestants and regret any confusion caused by the historical mix-ups category. Our team is reviewing the content and process to ensure that future categories reflect the accuracy and clarity that define Jeopardy. The statement read. The producers also emphasized their commitment to fact-checking and rigorous category development, vowing that such errors would not recur.